In this video, we will continue working on this app just by adding a few little features to it so that you can see a little bit more about what App Inventor can do. Now, hopefully you were able to get this working on your phone or in the emulator without too much difficulty. We're going to make a few modifications here. One of them is allowing us to play and pause the speech. So we'll do that first, and then we'll also look about sort of rearranging it so that we can put another app onto the page, and then I'll give you an opportunity to play around and see what you could do. Could you think of anything different you might want to do? Put your own little maybe music sampler or something like that. Anyways, let's just see what we got. Now, if you did play it, you would notice it would play, but it would not stop, right? You didn't have the opportunity to pause it. So we're going to do that. And so we're going to go back to our blocks programming. And we had a pretty simple code here. When we click the button, it basically played, and that's fine. But we can get it to do a little bit more. So what we're going to do is put a little bit of control logic into it. And so what we're going to do is basically be using an if and then. So actually, sort of control here, if and then. I'm going to grab that, and I'm actually going to put it in right here. So what we're going to do is, and I'm actually going to make a couple little changes too. It's going to be, whoops, let me get rid of this guy. So you can just click on it and delete it. Now, when we click button 1, okay, we're still going to get it to play it basically, except, just make sure, sorry, control, I have to find that play again there. Oh, right, sorry, I have to click on the button. All right, so what we want to do is get it to play, actually on the player there. So we're going to actually get it to pause first. Okay, now we can actually have a control here. Okay, so we're going to click it, it's going to pause, but if it is playing, we'll pause it. So I'm just going to come back to here, button player. So if it is playing, so here we are. So if player 1 is playing, then it will pause it. So I'm actually going to grab that again. Else, and we should be able to just add it with a little bit of a difference here. Just throw this in here. So else, I think I can do it this way. Oh, okay, I gotta throw it in there. Okay, so there's the else. Else, it will play it. So if it's playing, it will pause it. Else, it will start it playing. So again, go back to this one, and it will start. All right, so you could go back and see how that works. You have to obviously save it and then re-upload it to your device, or put it into the emulator again to see what changes you've made. Now we're going to go back and go back to our designer here. We're going to modify this a little bit. We've got this one just for Terry Fox, so we've got the label and so on, and the player 1. Now you might want to, change some of these things and rename it. So let's rename this one as Terry Fox, or we'll just call it Terry. And then that will let us identify it better. And so a lot of the times, it's okay if you have a very simple interface like label 1. Let's rename this as title. It's very simple. If you've got if you have an app without too many things, you can just, not worry about titling them. But as things get more, complicated, it's good to rename things so that you know. And then tap picture to hear speech. I think we can leave that one on. So I'm going to take the Terry Fox, the button here. I'm going to make it a bit smaller. So it was 75. So let's go down to say about 25. If I can change that, 25. And we'll do this one as well, 25. And what I'll do is let you bring in the Trudeau picture. So I'll get you to add the other button, bring in the Trudeau picture, bring in the for the player as well. Basically set it up, and then we'll worry, when you come back, we'll worry about the arrangement. All right, I've brought the new button with Trudeau's image in it, and I haven't worried about changing this title and stuff. We'll do that after, but we've got sort of the basics here. I've also got the Trudeau player put inside here, and I've relabeled it Trudeau button. Now what you'll notice is that the order that these are in sort of puts the sort of the order that they are on the screen. So if I drag this one up here, it moves it. Okay, so that sort of makes more sense to have them one below the other. But in terms of spacing on this app, I mean, it would be nicer if they were arranged in a grid fashion. And unfortunately, you can't just go and place them side by side. Doing that, I can change their up and down, but the app doesn't manually allow you to just rearrange them. But you can do that by going to the layout menu here. And you can see there's a horizontal arrangement. So what we'll do is we'll just grab this and put it, I guess, below Terry Fox there. And then what I want to do is drag these into this horizontal arrangement. Now, one of the things that it says automatic. I always find this a bit problematic here, but it doesn't seem to do it automatically. So I'm just going to throw this in here, and it kind of disappears. And so I'm going to go back, and you can see the horizontal arrangement there. I'm going to play around a little bit with this. I'm going to just do the height here. If you go fill parent, it fills up this whole area, which isn't too bad, and I might just leave it at that for the moment. And then also I'm going to grab the Trudeau button. Oops, can't drag it from there. Drag it from here and throw it inside. Oops. Okay, I think I'm going to do it there. Okay, so now we've got them horizontally arranged. But obviously this is not quite what we want. And so what I'm going to do here is play with the size. So I'm going to go to the horizontal. We did the fill parent. The width seemed to be working. The fill parent here. Let's, I can't remember what the pixels are here. In terms of the height, I think we're on, it's probably about 250. I'm just going to do that and see what happens. Okay, so less than that, 100. And yeah, it seems to be reasonable there, okay? If you want to do this, the width, again, the width now seems to be doing it automatically okay. We can fill the parent there, so it goes over that. And I don't know if we can move these over. Let's see if we can get this to center. Let's go to the right. No, it won't. It won't move over there. So you've got, limited ability. If we could put another picture in, whoops. Now where did it go? Oh, there it is. You can sort of try to arrange them. Now, obviously, the best thing to do would be just to reduce the size on the horizontal arrangement. Okay, so instead of filling the parent, maybe go 300 pixels on that. That's almost the whole thing. I don't know. My idea of pixels on this is a little bit confused here. Okay, 150, a little bit small, maybe 200. Okay, and you can get them to work. All right, now when you turn it off, okay, there is that border around it. By coming over here, you can get the things that are inside it to center better. Okay, so that looks a bit better there. I think the height, I keep messing with this, probably go a little bit bigger, but you can make it as you want. So that was the width, that was the height. Make that 150. Something like that. All right. So again, whatever you want to do there. I'd probably play around a bit more with the pictures, get them looking nicer, and you feel free to do that. Now, in terms of the code, it's almost going to be the same thing. Now, I have to be a little bit careful. I changed these to Terry and Trudeau, and the names of the buttons, Terry and Trudeau buttons. So let's just go back to blocks here. So it seems to be that's okay. Now, you can, I believe, copy this code. And so, oh, there we are. So if you right click on it, you can duplicate it. Okay. And there we are. Now, obviously we don't want it to say Terry button. This wants to be the Trudeau button. And we don't want it to play Terry. We want it to play Trudeau, 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 and Trudeau. But that should get you an app now that gives you the options, okay, to play both of those. Now, I would suggest that you, fix this up. You need to make sure that this looks better. Okay, we don't want to have Terry Fox there when we've got Trudeau and Fox, or Terry Fox. So see if you can get this to be arranged better. Maybe create a better title, like Famous Canadians or something like that. Make it look a little bit better, and that will just give you a chance to play around with some of these options here. You might want to play with the table arrangement or the vertical arrangement or whatever, so that you've got something that looks a bit better than this. The functionality should be there. Okay, I've given you the basic functionality, but I'd like you to play around a little bit more with it and make it that much better than mine. All right, make sure it works. I'll double check mine just in case, but hopefully you've got your first app done. And just one last thing that I noticed here when I play tested, in your blocks, make sure that you change this to the opposite here. So the idea is for both buttons or both MP3 files not to be playing at the same time. So basically, if you click the Terry button, okay, if the Trudeau one's playing, we haven't put an if here, but we'd make sure that that one's set to pause regardless. And then if Terry is playing, pause it. If not, it will start it, okay? And so the same thing here. So make sure this button here is sort of the opposite, right? So this one's going to be, if you click the Trudeau button, you want to make sure that Terry doesn't play anymore, the MP3 file for the Terry button doesn't play anymore, and then get Trudeau to play if it's not playing, or else get it to pause if it is playing. All right, so good luck.